IVM.
Alright, hello and welcome to Football Twaddle. My name is Saru and Yash and Baru, the OG gang of Football Twaddle is here. I'm just so happy, guys, that finally both of you are here on the same episode. Yash, I expect him to be here every week, but Baru, dude, come on, 2 weeks in a row. What's going on here? Do you have some good news to share with us?
Yeah, man. The only team I support is winning, and it's in the final right now of the ISL.
Oh God! So the a subsidiary of Manchester City is in the final, which we are going to talk about very soon. But before that, yes, we have to
Yeah,
start off at Manchester United beating Manchester City. What's up with Manchester United? I was reading that every time a team is making history or has made history, something happens and they lose to Manchester United. Why?
I guess those teams underestimate Manchester United. It certainly seemed like that on the weekend. That's why we had such an amazing result.
Wait, why does that amazing sound like someone we know?
Well, I'm neither confirming nor denying anything.
All right. Luke Shaw, my God, Luke Shaw is better than Cancelo. Is that even possible? In what reality are we living on?
Yeah, even I had to really rub my eyes to be just to make sure that it's Luke Shaw that was playing there. But again, I mean, he's been progressing well this season, and sometimes you have to remind ourselves that this kid is only 26 years old because he's been around for a long time. It seems like his career is over. He's not gonna grade up, but 26 is a young age. Yeah, I'm sure he can do better than he has for the previous half decade.
Okay. Baru, in the movie Avengers, Doctor Strange says that one possibility out of 14 million, right? And no one knew that in that possibility, or that's the only possibility they'll win. Was this scenario was this game something like that?
Yeah, it's actually the same scenario. I mean, the one that the Avengers actually won in. This is the same timeline. It's not nothing else has changed.
Yeah, they went back in time and got the real Luke Shaw. They went back 4 weeks ago and got a penalty, right? So they're just working these timelines.
We got the offside rules to change just after their match, make sure that doesn't affect them. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is crazy, but amazing. I mean, I fully expected Manchester United to lose, but this was a shock result of the weekend. It just
But
shows how
in the
good
in the
City
league,
are.
but in the league, Ole has had the upper hand on Guardiola. I mean, even the goals that we scored this weekend were so similar to the goals that were scored in the previous Manchester derby at Old Trafford. No, sorry, at the Etihad. This time it was Gabriel Jesus who made like a suicide tackle. A year back it was Bernardo Silva, and Martial scored a pretty similar goal from behind him, like how Luke Shaw did this time around. And the
Okay.
game, the ebb and flow was pretty similar. I mean, United were catching them on the counter.
Yeah,
What was up?
I think Ole's beaten like Pep's teams 4 times,
Four
right?
times, yes.
And if you look at all the four results or the way the four games have been, they just look same. It's like they've just played the same game 4 times for the same result.
Yeah, I mean, I expected Pep to evolve or learn something, but I mean, this was quite surprising. I mean, playing Gabriel Jesus was so surprising here. I mean, he literally gave someone someone for Lindelof to mark. I'm pretty certain if he played his original way without a striker, as he has been all season, these two wouldn't have figured out that system.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think Harry and Lindelof put together would have figured it out, but
Yeah,
but
and Gabriel Jesus isn't a great striker. You have to just stand next to him.
oh yeah,
Plus,
dude. Actually,
yeah,
that's been quite. I mean, talking about City as well. Remember when
yeah.
Jesus was bought? He was like, "Oh, this is a wonder kid, and he's going to replace Aguero and all that whole thing." I think after 4 or 5 years, we can safely say that Gabriel Jesus is just like the Brazilian Sterling or something.
Yeah, are you saying
Sterling,
that his highest point of his career was the Neymar Fives final against a bunch of amateur footballers when he
Yes.
rescued Neymar's team from uh, an embarrassing loss? To
That-
5 street footballers from Romania.
Dude, that is true. I mean, these Brazilian street footballers must have thought Romanian street football is same, all samba style. But those must be like real mafia thugs. They would be just backing the out of Neymar's team.
Yeah, but
Uh,
even Brazilian street footballers are mafia thugs only, right? At the end of the
but they're artistic.
if they survive the favelas.
Yeah, they're artistic. They do the dance and everything. So
But
I've seen-
maybe coming to Europe tames them from the Americas, no?
correct.
Something that Europe has not been able to do to Meghan Markle.
Oh God! You think
But this
if
works only for Brazilians and not for Argentinians and Uruguayans, is it?
you think if like let's say like the royal family has to go meet a football team, right? Let's say
Yeah.
like Manchester United, and they get the
Hmm.
team name. I don't think anyone in the royal family really watches football, so they look at Marcus Rashford name. You think this color coded for the Queen? Dark, very dark, light, Rooney, and things like that.
Maybe they're coded according to which floor they stay, like ground floor, below
Oh, ground
below
floor.
basement.
Oh man, that is the royal family. Do you guys have anything to say about the royal family and their? I mean, this is probably the most innocent thing they've done, trying to color code a unborn baby. But clearly, they're getting so much flack for it, for all the crap they've done there. They've just gotten away. Oh man. Anyway, let's talk about Manchester City losing to its subsidiary, reaching the ISL final after a very, I don't know, Baru, was it an eventful game? I don't think it was very eventful, right?
ISL versus Goa, the semi.
Yes.
Dude, that was one of the most boring and longest draws I've ever seen, man.
I
After
saw,
the way Mumbai and Goa were playing all season and being like one of the top passing sides, and just one of the sides with the most dribbles and everything.
dude,
This was
please
Mumbai didn't
listen
even
to
manage
please
to
listen
get a
to
shot
those,
on target.
please
in the
listen to
entire
Jose
game.
Mourinho. Please listen to Jose Mourinho. Passing means jack shit.
Yeah, but ultimately we are owned by the City Football Group, right? And not like Jose Mourinho's School of Football. So I don't know. That's
Okay.
what we were.
This is what I
Anyway.
had read, right? Before the game, this is what I read, that FC Goa, they lost their best players, but they have an exciting coach, young team, they reinvented themselves, and they're so much fun to watch. And Mumbai, from whatever you tell me, like you just praised them to the hilt. I thought, okay, kuch to hoga inme. So I switched on the TV and I started watching the game. I finished reading a book. I saw like Meghan Markle's interview, and I've done all of it. And we are at the 54th minute. Why was it so boring?
Yeah, I think it was like a new, arena or something for all of these players, that it's for the first time. They were expecting there to be like a third leg or something. They're like, agle leg mein hum dekh lenge. But it was, I don't know, there was just no motivation from the side, or maybe because Mumbai has never been to the final before today, before this time. They were just being that, defensive and on the back foot, that they didn't want to make any mistakes going ahead.
They were being united against Big Six before the last week.
Yeah, but at least United, even this week, United was like attacking on the counter, and that's how Luke Shaw got his goal. But that's what Mumbai City forgot to do. They just absorbed pressure for a bit, and then Goa, absorbed pressure in their own time, but no one was really countering.
Hold on. If no one is countering, what pressure were they absorbing?
It wasn't a counter, right? Matlab, when the play switches, aram se ball दूसरी तरफ जा रहा है, फिर वापस आ रहा है, aram se. There was no like quick breaks that were happening. And yeah, at the end of the day, they had to get a keeper from, who was probably I-League's best keeper last season, the real Kashmir guy, Furba. They had to get him on, and Goa actually got Dheeraj out because he's like kind of short, and they didn't trust him for penalty shootouts.
Oh shit! Yeah, but
they got Naveen in, and Mumbai removed Amrinder, who was like really pissed that he's being taken off. But then everyone had a callback to that World Cup special, when Van Gaal got that tactical master stroke, and that's what happened. Furba immediately like showed his skills. He saved 2 in a row or something.
Wait, even the Goa guy saved.
Yeah, that was after we gave our goal lead away, right? He's taking the next two after we scored those two.
Yes, this was such a bizarre game. Yes.
Right.
So, as Baru was saying, right, there were two teams absorbing a pressure when none of the pressure was being applied. So now imagine, imagine this going on for 120 minutes. Then both the teams change their keepers. So one team then like misses two penalties. Ki chalo, Mumbai is like, हाँ जीत गए. And then they are missing their penalties. Somehow, Mumbai stumbles into this victory. Who are they playing in the final, Baru?
Mumbai faces ATK Mohan Bagan.
Oh God! I mean, just for that all name, I'm going to support Mumbai, and just get on with it. Oh, all right. I think we are done with that. Let's come back to Premier League. Yes, did you watch the Arsenal game?
I watched it in bits and pieces.
So they were supposed to win 10-1, supposedly, but they somehow
The
magically.
ball refused to go in, man. The frantic end was very entertaining.
Yeah, dude, this is one of the more entertaining Arsenal games. Like,
Yeah.
you can't fault a manager for this, right? It's one of those days where the ball just refuses to go in.
Yeah, pretty much so. But there was some grumbling about refereeing decisions in this. It was whatever. I mean, you're playing Burnley at the end of the day. They're famous for doing this. So, I mean, just like how, what's that saying? A leopard can't change his stripes. So, Burnley are going to play that way. What can you do?
Oh, poor thing. Dude, that is such a banal explanation. You're talking like Gary Neville or Michael Owen more than anybody.
No, what I'm trying to say is that you can't maybe not blame the manager, but you knew this was coming. You knew that if you're going to give Burnley anything, if you're going to give them a draw, they're going to bite your hand off, put all those men behind the ball. And so, I mean, Arsenal could have done better with their finishing.
I know. So, Baru, why is Pepe such a bad finisher even after 1.5 years with you guys? He was such a good player at Lille. I actually saw some French league games where Pepe was playing. Why have you guys ruined him?
No, Pepe, he has this sweet spot on the pitch from where he scores like these
He's like 35 yards.
curlers with his left foot in the top left corner. But anywhere else in the box or outside that sweet spot, it just doesn't work for him. I think he actually, instead of trying with his weak foot in one of these shots, he actually waited and switched his posture a bit to get it on his strong foot, but he completely missed the ball.
He tried to open his body and ended up just cuffing it.
It was at that moment he realized that he has no strong foot.
He's just like floating body.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But then he kind of redeemed himself, when he connected with that volley. But he
hit
managed
the post,
to find...
right?
No, it hit two defenders. It hit I think
it hit the shoulder
and hit the crossbar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the one part of the goal which had the most mass of bodies, he aimed over there. And then Danny Ceballos is like, screw this shit. I really need to do this for Arsenal. And the last kick of the game, he hits the curling shot on the post.
What did Arteta say after the game?
I have no idea, man.
Because you couldn't care because the one team you support is about to reach a final. You don't.
Yeah.
And people wonder how Manchester City's fan base is growing. This is exactly how it's growing.
They just take over a club.
Yeah. All right. We should take a break right now. After the break, we have some main questions to ask, which is that is Liverpool now putting all its eggs in the Champions League basket, and are they forgetting about the league? And we also have the usual player of the week stuff. So stay tuned to Football Total.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Would like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Seat. We really do appreciate your support. We have a new show on the network. It's called The Fighting Goat. And if you love fighting sports, tune in every Wednesday with hosts Arjun and Somesh. They also featured, by the way, on Cyrus Says this week, where the three fitness freaks bonded over their love for TV sports and sports in general. Tune in to This Round Is On Me, where Gauri celebrated her 25th anniversary with Kavita Rajwade, who is my co-founder at the IVM Podcast Network. They give us details about how this show was curated, and they talk about podcasts in general. On The Habit Coach, Ashton highlighted our addiction to screens, how we are glued to either a big laptop screen or a small mobile screen all day. He shared some tips on how to rectify this unhealthy lifestyle. On All Things Policy, Anirudh Kaniseti spoke to Pratik Vakre and Rohan Sheth about the new internet guidelines that were issued by the Government of India recently, and their impact on content creators and platforms. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik invited Vivek Ram, who is a celebrated animation artist. They chatted about his stint with animation and starting his own studio called Vanar Sena, bringing to life stories from ancient India and his scriptures with animation as his vehicle. We had Dhanya Rajendran, the editor of the News Minute, on the note with Maruk Inayat. It was a deep dive into the digital newsroom and the upkeep of truth in a fake news pandemic. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Welcome back to Football Twaddle. Yes, Sawan, since you love Liverpool, their fans, Anfield, and everything so much, this question is for you. Is Liverpool putting everything in the Champions League basket because they are going to probably finish 10th in the league given their current form?
So I don't think that's the explanation to why they lost to Fulham. If that's what that's where you're heading to.
Dude, Fulham is one. They've lost their last six home games.
Yeah, I mean it's such a delight to see them doing worse than the Moyes United team as defending champions. I mean, this is such a contrast from last year. I'm sure they'll try to use the Champions League route to get back into the Champions League, and over 2 legs they'll have a much better chance than finishing fourth since it's so crowded in there. But they'll come across tougher teams than Racing Ballsport Leipzig. So I mean, they're doomed any which way.
God, are we just going to do the fake name for RB now? Is that where we are? So, Baru, Manchester United are known to be the Bruno Fernandes team. What we didn't know was Liverpool was actually a Virgil van Dijk team. We just thought he was part of the thing, right? But we didn't know that he gets injured and they crumble so badly.
Man, does he watch the games on TV or like is he given up? Is he watching the latest season of MasterChef Holland or something?
Holland. No, he's at the stadium. No, he's sitting at the stadium. But more than that, I think it is. I don't know.
What was the deal about Holland getting mistaken with something else recently?
Haaland, you mean the Dortmund guy?
No. Something related to Indian politics and social media. Anyway, never mind. I'll think about it later.
Yeah, okay. So there are massive rumors going on.
Spider-Man. Tom Holland, the cricketer and Spider-Man.
Dude, Tom Holland was not even the cricketer. He's a historian. He plays for a team called Authors 11. And
it works, right?
Oh, yeah. And you know who is also part of that cricket team? Our very own football journalist, Jonathan Wilson. So they had come to Mumbai to play in Brabourne Stadium game. Must have. Anyway, so getting back to this, Yash, it seems Salah's agent has written on Twitter or somewhere on social media, enough of this, or something like that, to that tune, right? So now people have thought that,
speculating.
Yeah, that this means he's going to Real Madrid. Does this mean he's going to Real Madrid? It's just him typing enough of this.
Yeah, I'm sure at some stage he would want to go play in Spain. And Real Madrid obviously would want a big resurrection after this terrible season where Atleti seem to be taking away the title.
Dude, those days are over. Now the title is between Atleti and Barcelona.
Yeah, so they'll want a big reaction after the great failures of Hazard and Luka Jovic and all. They would want new superstars to come in. They can't rely on Benzema and Vinicius and all. So I mean, it may not happen on this window because of COVID and everything, but I think it's a matter of time. Maybe 2022 we'll see Salah at the Bernabeu.
And the main question, Baru, will we see Klopp at Anfield in 2022?
Yeah, somebody, was it Yash or some other group? They said that that's not going to happen. He's just going to go back into his hole at the DFB and chill over there, regain his mojo and whiten his teeth again and then come back.
Wow. No, wait. That means he's going to leave Anfield, right? Leave Liverpool.
Yeah.
So you're confident?
I'm not confident. I have nothing to say on this. I'm just repeating what the grapevine says.
Assume this question is like you investing in some sort of Bitcoin type thing, right? And given your successes there, how seriously can we take this?
No, I think I'll take a short position on the Klopp coin.
Oh, by the way, I used to listen to you for all these coin things. A friend of mine put in 1.5 lakhs and made 7.5 lakhs profit.
No.
So I need better.
I got 50 rupees free from Cred and I made 123 rupees out of it. So beat that.
Dude, okay, fine. As a percentage, you probably are as good. So, all right, let's get to player of the week. Yes, who has been your player of the week?
Oh, that's easy. It's Luke Shaw because he
Oh,
had such a wonderful game against a very good Cancelo and generally the team. His movement was fantastic. That was not the only shot he had in the game. He had another couple of decent shots. This one,
and
the
and
one
he had
connected was
Sterling,
brilliant.
and he had Sterling in his pocket, right? Again, or
No,
something like
Sterling
that.
didn't move. Sterling, maybe I didn't notice. Sterling usually is in Van Bissaka's pocket, and they keep trying that again and again. I don't know why. And I mean, Sterling used to be a United fan, so maybe that's another factor of why he can't score against United.
Yes, correct. That way, half the Tottenham team will never score against anyone because they're all Arsenal fans. Okay, Baru, who has been your player of the week?
I'll go with Furba for those 2 penalty saves against FC Goa.
Oh
Nice.
man! And my player of the week. It's a simple choice. It's Harry Kane.
Wow.
2 goals, 2 assists. Previous game again a goal and 2 assists. I think the guy has 15 assists in the season already, which is
I'm
higher.
surprised it's not Kai Havertz.
Dude, well, let's wait for a week. Next week it's going to be Kai. I mean, I have to say Chelsea actually played well. It's very hard to say against Everton because Everton play so badly or they play good. There's no middle ground for Everton. Like against United also, when United took all that lead 3-1, we thought ki haan, khatam ho gaya. Somehow they played good 5 minutes and they won. So it's very hard to say against Everton. But it's Harry Kane. All right, the games to look forward to on the weekend. First of all, it's so annoying that for people who watch football regularly, that's Yash and me, that there are matches every day, right? So it's very hard to find out when a game week finishes, game week starts. But it suits really good for Baru, who watches games once in 2 weeks. So Baru, this weekend, what is your choice? What is your game for the weekend?
There's only one game for the weekend.
tell me,
Mumbai
tell
City
me,
FC versus ATK Mohan Bagan.
what time is that game?
Dude, I got like abused on Instagram Live by Bengali fans who said like, "Why are you calling it ATK Mohan Bagan? It's Mohan Bagan.
No, it's
Don't
not.
don't
Please.
deface or defile the legacy of our 110-year-old club."
They've
Yeah, अच्छा,
defiled
ठीक है
themselves,
भाई,
dude.
वो
They
तुम्हें
defile
चाहिए
themselves
तो
all the time. Do you know the
defile.
do you know the stories that have come out of Mohan Bagan? They hire foreign coaches. Those guys go to the training ground and they're like horses are shitting here, right? So those guys have defiled themselves every year. So what are they going on about? But what time is this game?
Hmm. It's at 7:30 on Saturday.
Will you take Yash or me on Instagram Live if we participate?
Of course, just wear your Mumbai FC jersey.
Can you
That's something.
can you send me a Mumbai City FC jersey?
You already have a Mumbai FC jersey, no? Just wear that and like stage a walkout or something.
No, I away.
The
Oh shit!
capitalists have taken over.
Or should I wear that Anelka 69 wala?
Anil,
Anelka.
कौन सा वाला बे?
There is one. You made me buy, saying that without a
Anelka
jersey.
used to play for Mumbai City, so it must be that one only. Whatever.
Yeah, I think
Unless it's a Chelsea jersey you're talking about.
No. Anelka had one. His number in Mumbai City was they were selling some stupid T-shirt outside, dude. But this was before the
Right.
City takeover, so we can like say all bad things about them. No problem. All right. Yes. What's your game for the weekend? I'm sure it's not going to be as exotic as what Baru mentioned, but
Yeah,
let's
it's
give
it's
it
a
a shot.
it's a little neighborhood fight. So since Baru didn't pick it, it's the NLD Arsenal versus Tottenham.
Dude, forget Baru and Pickett. Even he didn't realize it was Arsenal versus Tottenham.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, I had a Instagram live for that also on Blue Pilgrim's account.
Yeah. What happened? You had means what?
I
It's
had,
over.
but I won't be this time.
Wow. Amazing. Who's going to win, Yash?
Oh, Tottenham easily. They're in great form, and they have something to play for. Arsenal have nothing to play for.
Oh, dude, that's what makes teams the dangerous. I have nothing to lose. Remember, all the mafia movies, the people who kill are the fellows who say they have nothing to lose. So how can you even say this?
So I believe there'll be a Mourinho masterclass, a 1-0 double decker type of scenario.
Baru, if someone beats Arsenal, is it called a masterclass anymore? Or is it just called regulation?
Just yet another mid-table side.
All right. Since Yash shows, I'm going to go with Manchester United West Ham, second versus fifth. And David Moyes coming back home, if you can call it that. And
Too bad Jesse can't play in this one.
what? Why?
But they always have that clause that
Is he on loan?
Mooney- Yeah,
I
he's
think
on
he-
loan.
Oh, damn it. I thought West Ham bought him.
Yeah, same.
He's on loan.
Oh, God, what a crappy game it's going to be. United is going to win this like 3-0. I just hope Antonio bullies Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire and Lindelof together to score one header goal. That's all I can say. But I think United is going to win this. Alrighty, people. We have a lot of games to watch. So,
Alright.
Yash and I would be watching the ISL final just because we live in Mumbai and we kind of are like obliged to support them because Baru supports them. And you guys know the other two games to watch on the weekend. Alright, Yash. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
And Baru,
Right.
I think we had to do a ISL special episode sometime where you can just say Mumbai City FC for like half an hour and we close it.
To Mumbai.
Already. Okay, fine. Bye.
Namaskar, dear friends. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi. Life, as you know, is a journey. And you and I, travelers, how can we celebrate this travel? I have a podcast for you, Begin the Journey. I share stories and moments from my life. Do tune in every Monday and Thursday to listen to my podcast on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from. Cheers.
If you love cricket, listen up. The Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast is here for you. Hosted by DJ, Varun, and me, Ashwin, we bring a fun, fresh fan's point of view to talking all things cricket. Sometimes it's just the three of us, sometimes we have guests, including current and former international cricketers. For new episodes every week, check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast on the IVM app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.